Welcome to Beyond the Bottom Line on the future of women's awakening, fulfillment and success with Letitia Cook of Women Up Limited and Didi Ananda Rashmika of Mujer Despierta.
Hello, this is Beyond the Bottom Line, a monthly exploration about women's awakening and fulfillment so that all women may reach their full potential, being their full feminine selves. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of health, or at least balance, and bringing more health and more focus on health into our world of inner and outer success. Hi, Didi. Thanks for being here again. Tell me, what are your views about the importance of health and how it relates to fulfilling our potential, to everything to do with women's awakening and fulfillment and really finding success beyond the bottom line?
Well, I would like to share a quote of Herophilus, if that's how I pronounce it. When I read this quote, it really inspired me to take care some years ago, and of course, it still inspires me. He said, "Without health, wisdom cannot reveal itself. Art cannot manifest itself. One cannot fight for lack of force. Wealth becomes meaningless, and intelligence cannot be employed."
Huh.
Well, that says it all. I think we can finish here.
Exactly. Amazing quote.
Yeah.
It's so true.
And in our chasing of the material success, many times health is the first one to be sacrificed. We work too hard, we have stress from deadlines that are imposed on us or we impose on ourselves. We don't eat well, we eat bad, we eat at wrong times, we don't take proper rest, we don't exercise, etc., etc. And then we'll be rich and wealthy and really unhealthy. And then what is there to enjoy about life?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I think health and fitness and wellness are absolutely key. I mean, in fact, as you know, I have these sort of ideas that I really do talk about a lot, and I really try and get people to understand them because I'm not scared about arguing about things. I think the keys, the 4 pillars that we need are fuel, so nutrition, freedom, meaning freedom of mind, fulfillment, and what we do, and those 4 together equal success. So I call it the 4 F's for holistic success. But if you don't eat well, your brain can't work, your body can't work. You've got to have good nutrition. And I see these people eating such rubbish, and they're like, it's delicious, it's gourmet, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, well, maybe, but it's so unhealthy.
Yeah.
You need to have your brain work properly. Your emotions are controlled by what you eat, what you put in your body.
Well, among other things, but yes, the food has a large influence, and we do it every day, several times. One thing I think which stops people from, because I became a vegetarian almost 23 years ago, and then later on I cut out some other foods, and then people say, but then you can't enjoy. And there's kind of a myth that if you eat healthy, you can't enjoy. Or I've had people, of course, tell me over the years, so what do you eat? Grass? I don't eat grass. I eat really well. But because the sensory pleasure that you have while eating, and how long can you eat? I mean, if it's a very long meal, it'd be 1 hour because you have many breaks in between. But I mean, you can't have that pleasure all day long. And you suffer for it a lot afterwards. It's like, well, who is enjoying? And also when you are used to eating healthy, or maybe I should say pure food, your sense of taste changes.
Exactly.
And like all the things that taste artificial, I don't want them anymore. And when after a meal and in general you feel full of energy, you can really enjoy your food, but you can enjoy the rest of the time as well. And there's something very important about not being dependent on the pleasure of food.
Yes.
You should enjoy your food by all means, but if you depend for your pleasure of life on the pleasure that you derive from food, you should really think about your life.
Yeah, I agree. That, because talking about food and the pleasure from it, I actually sometimes going to places to eat, I just don't feel good before I've even started, because you can see what it is, the smells, everything else just makes me feel bleh. Because I like something with taste, but for me taste is the taste of the fruit or the taste of the plant, or not something that's absolutely covered in, I don't know, sauces and salt and what, or sugar and that. But I agree with you saying that if the only thing you care about is food, and if you're really obsessed with the taste and the pleasure of eating, you're out of balance, because it's great to really enjoy your food, but not to the exclusion of everything else. And this is why I think fitness is so important as well, because when you feel fit, when you are fit, you have extra energy. So, and you also have a much more positive mindset. So,
speaking of energy, there is something I've asked over the years, hundreds of people, if not more.
Yeah.
If I have 2 apples, one came off the tree today and one came off the tree of the same tree a month ago, which one do you choose? And all the people I've asked so far have told me they would eat the apple of today.
Yeah.
And that is because, and I said, why? So, because that one is fresh.
Yeah.
So when you mentioned energy, I remembered this example, because every person automatically chooses or instinctively chooses this fresh apple, because it's not only the carbohydrates, the protein, etc., which is normally focused on when we discuss food and okay, there's one big part is the attachment of food. There's the taste and the enjoyment of food. All that is fine. But when we talk about what food gives us, we usually talk about carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, etc. But on a much more subtle and vital level, it gives us energy. Like when you mentioned energy, not only energy like the carbohydrates that we burn and that's why we can run, but the quality or the type of energy that the food has. And in yoga, there's 3 types of energy, which in English I could translate as the subtle, the mutative, and the static.
Yeah.
So if you eat subtle food, which is all the fruits and vegetables and the grains and the seeds and the nuts, your body and mind get that kind of subtle energy, which automatically we choose because we choose a fresh apple, right?
Yes.
And static energy would be the things that actually drain us from energy.
Yeah.
Or static meaning that which is dead and dying and rotting.
Yeah.
Or, I don't want to put too many restrictions on this, but in general, to keep, because we can also get obsessed about what we cannot eat.
Yeah.
And I don't want to impose my diet on anyone, but if you think about the energy of what you eat, the fresh, lively stuff, that is the kind of energy you are going to get.
Yeah, I agree. And you need it not just for physical energy, but for mental energy, for emotional energy, and positivity. And for me, I mean, the reason I have these 4 pillars is to do your best at work, even if we're talking about purely materialistic, to be at your best, you need the energy, you need the stamina, you need the endurance, and you need the mental positivity. So that, even for someone who's only thinking about their career, their leadership, their responsibility for the business, to be quite honest, if you're fat and unfit, you just do not have the same competitive possibilities as someone who is eating for good energy, and who's got the fitness because they've got the stamina, they've got the creative ideas. So for me, that's really important. This whole idea of health and fitness is so important for success, whichever type of success, whether people want to focus more on getting that seat on the board or getting that, I don't know, Ferrari or whatever it is that they want, or whether they want to focus more on their inner success and bringing more of their passion into their life. Everything is better when you're fit and healthy.
And that is for the now, because many times people say, but I don't have any health problems. True, maybe not yet, or maybe someone has a very strong constitution, but it is so sad to see that by the time people reach 50 or 60, it is completely normal now to suffer from certain diseases which are preventable.
Yes.
And then what is the saying? Health is wealth.
Yes.
But in the pursuit of wealth, if we sacrifice our health, later on you'd be paying all the medical bills and not enjoying your time off. Because there is this, when I worked in the city, I was of course the youngest one, but I had colleagues who were just in their late 20s, and they was like, but I'm going to do this job until I have enough money. Then I can buy a house without a mortgage. And then I can do what I really like to do. And I still remember one colleague, he wanted to be teaching, and instead he was doing a developer, software developer, working 7 days a week, crazy hours, lots of stress, really unhealthy lifestyle, etc.
Yeah.
And first of all, you don't know if you'd still be alive in 15 years. None of us know. I mean, even I can live healthily, but I can have an accident too.
Yes.
So don't postpone your living your life, happily. But secondly, if you continue living, if he would continue living the life he did, 15 years, he could buy a house without a mortgage, but he wouldn't have health to enjoy his life anymore.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Or to enjoy your children or your grandchildren or whatever people want to enjoy. No?
Yes.
Or you want to travel or whatever it is you have in mind for later on. You may not have that opportunity if you don't have the health, because without health you don't have the energy to enjoy.
Also, when you're healthy and particularly when you are fit and healthy and when you're eating well, whatever choice, but fresh food and good and things like that, but physically when you're healthy you feel so good, and it is a different feeling from when you work hard, play hard, and have an iron constitution. It's not the same feeling. I mean, I was, particularly when I was 30-ish, I had a period when I was sort of mid-20s and then another period early 30s when I was physically really fit. I was doing a lot of competitions, I was doing a lot of exercise, a lot of training, and just the feeling of the way I walked, the way I stood up straight, the way my back was strong, the way my muscles worked. It felt good. I felt like I was almost like a panther, the way I moved, it flowed. And you get such a high from that, and it gives you such a positive mental.
It affects the mind also. Just as when we're depressed, when we're feeling down, we slouch, head down, and it reaffirms that body posture and reaffirms the mental feelings. In the same way, when our body posture is upright and we feel full of energy, it boosts the mental state too.
Yes.
Like when you're straight up with head held high and a smile on your face, try it. It's very hard to feel down. It's impossible.
Exactly.
So, and it's not something I'm faking, but as in, if that is your state of body, you get that too. And one thing that is very important when we talk about mind is not only the mind of I'm enjoying, I'm passionate, but to have a peace of mind with yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's the key.
Yeah, I agree. And your creativity improves. Your pleasure in what you're actually doing improves. Just everything. So, do you have any other feelings about how health fits into balance in general, or how we could focus on balance. And I don't mean work-life balance, because I think that's an overused word, but the balance of ourselves in our own little world.
Well, what I've noticed with the trend of, there's all the superfoods, and it's much more popular now to be vegetarian or vegan than 20 plus years ago when I became a vegetarian. There's much more choice, it's even a trendy thing to do. I think it's important to not become obsessed even in that way. Recently I came across, there's anorexia, we know anorexia, bulimia, but now there's a new word, it's called orthorexia, I think. When people are obsessed about food, not in the same ways with anorexia, but in terms of obsessed with the calories, there's superfoods and everything like this, right?
Yeah.
Well, apart from that, which is apparently a new type of disease or affliction, is to keep it balanced, as in what I said earlier, like if you're satisfied in your life with what you do and everything, we are much more mental beings than physical beings. We can feel physically well, but if we're mentally down, it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Human beings are very psychic.
Yes.
Much more so than animals, who feel fine when they have their food, their sleep, their sex, and they survive.
Yeah.
So the mental relationship we have with food is extremely important, to keep that balanced too.
Yes.
To not be obsessed by the food, because then you're using your mind again for something that is rather limited.
Yeah.
And one way to do that is to keep things simple. It doesn't mean that we have to like all the different components of the food, and this superfood and that superfood, and I have to eat this today, I have to have my chia seeds today, I have to have my green powders, my vitamins, but when we're in a good state physically and mentally, and we eat healthily, fresh live food, let's say, we can have a healthy relationship with the food.
Yes.
Not to go extreme and be obsessed about all the details also.
Yeah. I would say listen to your body, because
that's a dangerous one. Sorry, I don't agree.
Really?
Look, to give an extreme example, of course, heroin addiction is not healthy, right? But a heroin addict listens to his body saying, I need more heroin.
Well, okay, all right.
An addict to sugar will think he needs more sugar.
Yeah, okay, good point. Well,
we can listen to our body when it's already at a certain kind of level of being pure and healthy. But because I've had many people tell me, well, my body needs meat. But once you're not eating meat and you feel a completely different kind of energy, you're like, oh, my body doesn't need meat. But when you're used to having always the heavy feeling, the full feeling after a big meal, you think that that's what the body needs. So I'm sorry I had to butt in there.
Yeah, no, but you're right, because I suppose because I eat healthily, I mean, I eat what my body needs. I don't have addictions, etc. So I know if I do listen to my body, it's actually telling me to eat, it'll either tell me I need more fruit today, or I need more kidney beans today, or plant, because I don't eat meat either.
Right.
So it's plant-based protein. And if I listen to what I need for energy, normally my natural instinct is to go for what I need to equalize my energy. So, but yes, you're right, because anyone who is into sugar a lot or something like that, then obviously their body's going to have withdrawal symptoms and is going to
cravings.
So yes.
One other thing to keep in mind is we don't need all the nutrition in every meal. Like when I grew up, there was a disc or a pyramid, there's all different images, like that you need to have your fruits and your carbohydrates and your protein and everything in every single meal, and that's not necessary. We can spread it out through the day, and that way we can simplify our life a lot. We don't have to worry that every meal you need to have all your nutrition.
Yes.
Nutrients is the word.
Yeah. No, I agree. And okay, so if someone's trying to focus on this, if they've never really paid attention and they like the idea of what we're talking about, and getting more energy, getting a more positive mental outlook because of being healthier, what do you think's the best way for them to start? Just doing a little bit more exercise, removing some of the things they eat that are less healthy, putting in more fresh? And
I think that's a good start, because to do more exercise while you're on a poor diet, or a diet that actually drains you from energy. If we eat really unwell, our body needs so much energy to digest that we won't have much energy left.
Yes.
So then to start exercising is a huge task.
Yeah.
I would say to cut out, to identify what is unhealthy in your diet. And one may still think meat is healthy. I would suggest cut out meat.
I would agree.
It's synthetic food. When I became a vegetarian, it was initially related also to my skin problems. And I felt so much more energy immediately. Yes. Cut out something that really drains you from energy, such as meat. Yeah. Or cut out, if you can't cut out, reduce. If you're eating it every day, twice a day, make it 4 times a week.
Yes.
And, gradually, not everybody has to go extreme. And after that more, and as you start to feel progressively better and encouraged by it, you can continue cutting out more things. And then you will see how your energy level changes. We do in our retreats, of course, we serve vegetarian food. After 2 days of vegetarian food, people say, I feel so much better.
Yes. Yeah, it's like a detox. I mean, I would say as well, one of the easiest things to start with is stop anything that's processed or coming